And if you don't know how to follow those, if you're listening live, if you're listening not live, you're listening later, just follow us at HEELZiggler.com on Twitter. 10 a.m. Eastern exactly for Chase out in the Ohio area. But yeah, hop on Twitter, follow us at HEELZiggler.com, and then you'll know every morning where to find us on Periscope, like our good friend at ChaseM262. And then you can see all that's going on here in Des Moines as far as what's going on at Audacity Solution Studios. Or, you know, if you want to listen in on your phone or talk to us, talk to me personally, 657-383-1786. Yeah, Sting is rumored to have been injured, although, as I pointed out in a tweet I sent out earlier, I can't find anything other than Dave Meltzer getting on the radio and saying, it looked pretty bad. It could be the end of his career. And Dave Meltzer is not God. Dave Meltzer is not Vince McMahon. Dave Meltzer is just a guy with a show, and he wants a million people quoting him and clicking him and listening to his crap. So, yeah, if he gets an opportunity to go on the radio and say, Sting just ended his career, and then everyone has to quote him saying that, and then people like me have to go try to find Dave Meltzer's stupid newsletter, whatever. Anyway, we'll get to that, but the first thing we're going to talk about is Night of Champions. If you have anything you want to say at me, like World According to Mentally, yes, the Chase M260, this is what I like. People with comments, I like it. So join us at Periscope. If you want to say anything, shout at me there. I do have the Twitter machine open, so if you tweet at me during the show, I will be notified. Kevin Owens is amazing. Again, if you're not live, you don't realize. Just responding to the Periscope room. Kevin Owens did do an amazing job last night. If you want to say something, tweet us at HEELZiggler.com, hop in the Periscope room, or give us a call, 657-383-1786. This is the first and only live, daily, morning, call-in pro wrestling news and rumors podcast. No other podcast claims to be that. This is the only one. Let's just go ahead and talk about Night of Champions, because that's all anyone really is concerned about. And in case anybody out there has not seen it yet, I'm going to let you know. There's a spoiler alert sound effect playing right now. You guys can't hear that. Sorry, YouTube and Periscope. Alright, so let's get right into it. Night of Champions last night. I do not think that I'll coop about Jericho. We're going to get to that. Show opened with the Cosmic Wasteland facing Neville and the Lucha Dragons. On the pre-show, in a weird outside match, sort of like they do during WrestleMania week and stuff. It was weird, whatever. Cosmic Wasteland gets the win, which I agree with, because you're not trying to build Neville and the Lucha Dragons as a unit. They're just three guys who got an account randomly put together, whereas the Cosmic Wasteland is supposed to be a unit. I don't know if that's WWE official or if that's just internet lingo Cosmic Wasteland, but we are talking Cody Rhodes and the Ascension. And so I think that was a good place for it on the pre-show. I think it was a good way for them to win. And it seems like pre-show, and I'm being influenced a lot by my roommate saying this last night, but it does seem like a lot of pre-show matches just go to whatever the standard fan, the Cena R-Truth crowd, whatever they would cheer for usually wins on the pre-show, which I feel like is kind of true. But last night, not so much. Cody Rhodes and the Ascension. I hope they do some good stuff with them. It would be, yeah, there's a lot of good potential they have there if they don't make the Ascension look like a complete joke. But I don't know if being the Cosmic Wasteland is just resigning permanently to being a joke. We'll see how they take it and how crazy they take it. I'm a little distracted over here. Randy Orton versus John Cena for the WWE World, for the WWE Championship, Hell in a Cell, first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So, yeah, it was a decent way to kick off the show. I was actually really distracted doing a trivia contest with some of my friends and with some Periscopers. and so I didn't see all of the pre-show, but Cosmic Wasteland gets the win. Kevin Owens opens the show by defeating Ryback for the Intercontinental title. There's not much that could have made me happier as far as the outcome of matches. Maybe if they would have let Seth Rollins beat John Cena and beat Sting, and then let Sheamus try to cash in, and Seth Rollins beats him also. That I would have liked better than Kevin Owens being the IC champ, but the fact that it's off Ryback, the fact that it's on someone that everyone either loves or hates, but who's actually good in the ring, yeah, it's amazing. So hopefully we see Kevin Owens with feud with like Cesaro and Ziggler over the title. We have to have at least one rematch from Ryback. Hopefully that's on Raw, and then we get him out of the picture because we want some awesome matches. We will get to Kane later in the show. But after the Kevin Owens victory, Dolph Ziggler got a win over Rusev after Summer Rae became a distraction on accident. She threw her shoe. She tried to hit the referee. It hit Rusev. And so apparently a shoe is enough to end the match because Ziggler just I guess Ziggler did hit the zigzag and then the pin. So he was temporarily stunned or shocked by a shoe. Then Ziggler hit the zigzag, and that was the match. So I don't remember if they showed Summer Rae and Rusev backstage after that. I never saw it. I assume we're going to get some more drama where Rusev, breaks up with Summer Rae or something. She goes running to Ziggler and whatever, Lana, whatever, blah, blah. The match is not going to be over until Lana gets to beat up Summer Rae or something like that. It's painful to watch that stuff, but I get why they do it, whatever. Ziggler, I like that he's on TV at least. He has a good program. Hopefully Hell in a Cell is when it's over, because I do not like I don't like how long they put some of these on, the new PMS. Oh man, yeah, that's actually very possible for WWE. They'd have to come up with something a little more appropriate. The next match, the New Day, they defended their tag titles against the Dudley Boys. Xavier Woods went full Rufio from Hook as far as his hair. It was the best hair I've ever seen on Xavier Woods by far. I hope it's a permanent choice, but probably not. The red matched his outfit last night. And after the Dudley Boys hit a 3D, Xavier Woods jumped in the ring, caused the intentional disqualification. New Day keeps the titles. Post-match, they throw Xavier Woods through a table after the New Day tried to get the table themselves to throw the Dudley Boys through. So a little vindication, I guess, in that finally someone was thrown through a table. But yeah, for a pay-per-view, that's no way to end it. That's how you end a Raw or a SmackDown match to help set up the pay-per-view. You don't bring back the Dudleys for a title match and then have it end in a DQ. The Dudleys shouldn't be in a match where DQs even exist. If you're going to put them on in a pay-per-view, it better at least be a table match, if not a TLC match or something where there's tables all over the place. Yeah, the Dudleys performed, as at Coop859 is saying. The Dudleys looked fine, and that was never the issue. The issue is just the terrible ending. So hopefully they're building to something bigger. There's rumors already of Dudleys and then them bringing back the Hardys to have another TLC match, but you gotta believe they'd want to throw at least one young team in there. So if it was a New Day versus Dudleys versus Hardys in a TLC match, that would be maybe worth the Dudleys not them having it. I guess I would have at least liked a pin, even if it was a cheap pin. I would have liked that better than a DQ. You think they would have come up with something a little better than that. But, whatever. That's WWE. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe they were having troubles in back, as some rumors apparently are saying with the Dudleys, but you know what? That's still whatever. We should have had a better ending to that match. Either way, next up, Charlotte ends the world's longest WWE Divas Championship reign by making Nikki Bella tap out to the figure 8. I was worried for a minute that Nikki was gonna go full, I believe it was Christian who used to go full whine, where he would kick and pound and scream in the ring like a toddler, which I never think that's funny. That's just like annoying. And it looked like Nikki was gonna do that, but she didn't lose her mind too much. She'll obviously have a rematch. I was hoping we'd see a page turn last night, but hopefully that's still to come in the future. After Nikki gets her title match, maybe Nikki wins it back and Paige helps her. I'd be okay with that. I don't think Charlotte needs to step up as the new most important person in the Divas division just yet. I'm not that upset that she's a champion, but I hope it's not. They're strapping the whole division to her shoulder, because she's not ready for that, I don't think. But anyway, the match was pretty decent. It's too bad it was the only Divas for the Divas division. It's too bad it was the only Divas match, because they could have had some other really solid matches like they have been doing a lot lately. And I hope Sasha Banks gets up there to feud with Charlotte. I don't know if it's too early to want that. Maybe just do a quick one early. Do a quick Sasha Charlotte feud right now. Kind of like an early Shawn Michaels Bret Hart, so an early John Cena Randy Orton, just something you're gonna see a million times, but it just keeps getting better sometimes. I guess whatever. Anyway, move on. Charlotte defeated Nikki Bella. No one's that upset about it in real life except Nikki Bella. So yeah, Sasha does have that 30-minute Iron Woman match, by the way, against Bayley, which is going to pay-per-view NXT TakeOver in London. So that's going to be awesome. I really hope they make it as good as they should be able to. It's a lot of pressure for them. Whatever. Next match, we finally discovered who the third member was for Ambrose and Reigns, and I mean, this feels like normal WWE, where they should not have. I mean, I guess maybe they didn't even build it that much. Maybe the internet built it way more than WWE did. WWE didn't even really officially say they were going to have a mystery partner until the Monday before the pay-per-view. But obviously the internet has been trying to figure out that third member since it was obvious that's the direction they were going. But it was still as much as the build as it got, Jericho seemed kind of underwhelming. When Jericho's back, there's a really good chance he's going to do a job, because that's what he does now, is he helps put over older, younger talent. So he's the one that caused them to lose the match. Reigns and Ambrose didn't even confront him really in a negative way, but he, bumped Jericho's chest. Or he bumped Ambrose's chest on the way out. So I guess that will be a feud or whatever. And I guess if he's putting over Ambrose and they're just, because they don't have anything else for Ambrose to do, that's fine with me. Whatever, I don't care. As long as they're not putting Jericho over any of the young talent, and they're not giving him a title, then I'm fine with that. Maybe even put Jericho in the IC title hunt, because he is the 11-time champion or whatever, I believe, right? I think he's held the IC title more than anyone else. So to let him put over Kevin Owens, or at least have him feud with some of the other guys trying to get to the IC title. Because again, you can have Ziggler, you can have Ambrose if you want. You can definitely have Cesaro. There's a lot of really talented wrestlers who could compete for the IC title. You could let either of the Lucha Dragons in there just for fun every once in a while. Stardust, I feel like, is worthy of putting on a good IC title match. So, yeah. Hopefully, Kevin Owens does for the IC title what Cena did for the US title. And hopefully they butt heads a lot. I don't want them to unify the titles, but I hope they butt heads a lot. Yeah, so the match just basically didn't make the Wyatts look bad, which is good if they want the Wyatts to look good. I mean, I want them to be, you know, kind of as dominating as the Shield used to be in WWE. So hopefully the Wyatts continue to be, especially when it's just kind of a, hey, it's two guys who used to be tag team partners and some guy from Canada. There's no reason for the Wyatts to lose that match. Reigns and Ambrose don't look that bad because Jericho takes the fall. Now he's going to fight Ambrose or whatever, so yeah. That's that. John Cena defeated Seth Rollins for the US title. And honestly, John Cena was doing a lot more for the title than Seth Rollins. It's good that Seth Rollins got to say he was both at the same time. And yeah, but I like John Cena doing the weekly open challenge. I hope that's why he got it back, is to do that. The ratings have not been great lately, and that was usually a pretty highly rated segment, as I recall. So hopefully that's what they're bringing back, and then hopefully we have tons of good matches for the IC title and tons of good matches for the US title, and Seth Rollins remains the World Heavyweight Champion while people are distracted by Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, and Rollins begins a reign that looks much like that of a certain Chicago native who had a very, very long streak. And much like Nikki Bella just passed some other person, I can't remember her name anymore. Maybe someday Seth Rollins will pass that guy, and WWE will never have to say his name anymore. Until, you know, in like 5 or 6 years when he comes back, because they all do. They all do. They all come back. No one ever actually leaves wrestling. Now with the money Vince can throw at you, and now with once he goes to UFC and realizes like, oh, getting paid a lot less to get in the ring with someone who like really actually wants to destroy my face, he's gonna make the Brock Lesnar decision and be like, oh yeah, the WWE life is way better. I'm glad I did this MMA shit, but give me that money and give me that someone not actually trying to kill me. I admit I was being a little melodramatic once we parted ways. Seth Rollins went on to defeat Sting after being defeated by John Cena, which makes Sting look not very strong, although in his Rolling Stone interview, as I talked about last week, he was totally fine with being used to put over younger talent because he knows he's past his prime, and that's basically what he's still good for, and if that's what they want, that's what he'll do, and that's what he did. There was a point where it looks like I was not paying super close attention at this exact moment, and so I assumed all this doctor in the ring thing was a total work. It seems like the internet believes it was real. Dave Meltzer definitely believes it was real, and that's why the internet believes it's real. So I'll wait to comment on the Sting injury in any real detail until a real source says something. We'll see what they say on Raw tonight, because yeah, and I'll check and see. I always end the show with going over the WWE.com 5-point preview. So if yeah, hopefully that's one of the questions on there. They address the Sting injury rumors. That'd be nice. It works well for their storyline. Either way, maybe. Probably. It's going to get people to tune into Raw, because the only person saying shit so far is Dave Meltzer, who is in no way, you know, employed by WWE. And yeah, I can say I have inside sources that say shit too, man. Yeah, Sheamus comes out at the very end, and he's going to cash in his Money in the Bank. He hits a bro kick, and then right before he cashes in, Kane's music hits. Kane comes to the ring, choke slams Seth Rollins. Then my WWE network skipped and it replayed him chokeslamming Seth Rollins, and then when it got back up to real time, Sheamus was already laid out. So I can only assume, unless he slipped and fell, that Kane also took down Sheamus. So no Money in the Bank cashing in that night. No epic win over John Cena and Sting in the same night. No cashing in of Money in the Bank. A lot of possibilities. I was really on the edge of my seat, honestly, at the end, just whether or not they were going to have him cash in. So kudos to WWE on that. Yeah, and it is Demon Kane came back. Yeah, that's a good point. Coupe59 that, yeah, they did bring back the Demon Kane. This is not corporate Kane. And with Hell in a Cell coming up, you got to believe Seth Rollins versus Kane, Hell in a Cell for the title. And, you know, especially if you got Brock Lesnar versus Taker headlining the pay-per-view, I'm okay with letting Seth Rollins go over someone like Kane in Hell in a Cell. Again, just to add to his legacy. He's already got victories over John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Sting, probably I don't know if he's got one over Dean Ambrose since he became champion. But count Roman Reigns in there since the win over WrestleMania. So why not give him Kane? He just now needs to kind of cement this reign as something significant by getting a lot of names on there. A lot of former World Heavyweight Champions, a lot of former WWE Champions, a lot of future Hall of Famers that he can say he defeated for the title while he was champion. Yeah. So hopefully it's good. I think it's going to be right up there with. Maybe you already think it's better than Daniel Bryan's World Heavyweight title run, where he constantly defeated the Big Show and Mark Henry, and managed to come out with the title and all those kinds of matches. And CM Punk's super long reign, where he defeated basically everybody, or at least managed to not lose the title to everybody for an incredibly long time, which I was a big fan of at the time. That's Night of Champions. That's how I feel about them. You're welcome for all that. News and rumors. Pulled up the wrong screen on my computer, so forgive me for that. And actually, real quick, while I'm gonna take a couple minutes break. I don't think that's going to offend anyone, so I assume that no one is really listening live on the radio. I got one heart. Cool. 2 hearts. Great. I'm on. Nice. All right. So real quick, running through the rumors now that we're through with Night of Champions and Night of Champions related information. Apparently, according to Conan and former Conan, not Conan O'Brien, Conan the Wrestler, Conan and a former WWE employee, Court Bauer, looks like there is a decent chance we could see Carlito return to the WWE. Apparently, they want specifically to market to the Hispanic crowd. They want someone they can push as a big star to their Hispanic demographic, and they think Carlito may be the guy to do that. So I'm not sure how much that's based on any real WWE information. I'm not sure how much of that is just those guys trying to get their name out in the rumors. But we'll see. Maybe Carlito will make a comeback. I always liked Carlito. He left rather unceremoniously, so it would not be bad to see a return from the former Intercontinental US and Tag Team Champion, if you ask me. So, yeah, Carlito possibly in the future. Sunny, everyone's, if you're about my age, if you're in your early 30s, maybe late 20s, if you were around for the Attitude Era, you remember Sunny. She was there at the very beginning. She was there before the Attitude Era really began. She was there while it was going on. She was at one point the most downloaded woman on AOL, which meant something a long time ago. She has a warrant issued for her arrest due some really terrible driving she did. That all goes down in December. Not really much to say about it other than we hope the best for Tammy. She's been burning a lot of bridges with WWE and even like ROH and TNA and stuff lately. Yeah, Diego, this does come from Des Moines, which is sort of the home of Slipknot. You're right. That's not true. So yeah, Slipknot. Anyway, Tammy Stitch, we hope for her the best, and hopefully one day she is one of those stories where she cleans her shit up and she makes a comeback in some capacity. Not a comeback in the ring, but just a comeback to being on good terms with WWE, so she can do appearances, do spots on WWE Network when they need to interview people, have her show up at, WrestleMania weekend, stuff for fans. We can talk to her, and it's not paying money to see her naked on Skype. So, of course, as far as things we don't really want to talk about too much, Kurt Angle's brother has been charged with homicide. Kurt Angle specifically said that he does acknowledge that it is his brother, but wishes for privacy for him and his family. So I'm not going to talk much about it. If you want to know more, get on the internet and find out more about that. Obviously, there's going to be the information out there if you want it. For Ring of Honor fans, if you follow Ring of Honor, I was thinking about watching that pay-per-view on Friday. I don't really follow the show. I thought it seemed like a good pay-per-view, maybe for my introduction to ROH, but I didn't. But if you're interested, I guess I should play real quick for the podcast. So at the All-Star Extravaganza 7, Bullet Club member AJ Styles defeated Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Michael Elgin. He's the #1 contender for ROH World Championship. That is not the title that changed hands, as Jay Lethal retained both of his titles. It was, in fact, it was Michael Bennett and Matt Tavern defeated ROH World Tag Team champions, The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, and the Young Bucks. Kingdom, that is Michael and Matt, are managed by former WWE diva Maria. Not really, she didn't really go by Maria like that, Maria. So, those are your new tag champions in ROH. If you care, Jay Lethal is still a double champion. Seth Rollins is not. That's actually like the second to last headline to give you. TNA's, I mean, it's kind of funny. TNA's, some executive from TNA, I don't remember his name exactly, but he basically said, he used the phrase, oh, here it is, I found it. His name's Bob Ryder. He is addressing the fact that a lot of people are talking about how poor the live events attendance are for TNA lately. So he just put a post online about it. He literally used the phrase, some of you guys need to turn those frowns upside down. Then he put a smiley face emoji in his letter. Again, this is Bob Ryder, who is some sort of executive or something at TNA, I believe. I'm not going to read close. He says they're still a strong number 2 in the United States. No one is even close. If you want to say that, I guess that's fine. But everyone is so far from WWE that it doesn't matter who second place is. You're all barely alive compared to WWE. I again wish the best for TNA. It doesn't look good for them. The storyline with GFW is officially over. Spoiler alert for that too, I guess. As recently on TNA, they defeated GFW in a what was the name of the match? Lethal Lockdown. So now GFW goes away, and Dixie Carter is storyline in the full owner of TNA. Whatever. So good for GFW, I guess. They got on TV for a while. Now they go do their own thing. Good for TNA because maybe we'll talk about it for a little bit because people wondered if GFW was just going to be a rebranding of TNA. So I guess now they're still their own individual companies so far. And that's really all of the rumors that need to be addressed today. I'm going to go through real quick the Raw 5-point preview, and I'm going to give you the answer to all the questions they pose to let you know kind of what you can expect on Monday Night Raw tonight. The first question, why has Demon Kane returned? And they capitalized D in the demon on Demon Kane to let you know that, as one of the Periscopers mentioned earlier, this is not Corporate Kane, this is the Demon Kane. He's pissed. He took out Seth Rollins last night. Then he took out Sheamus last night. So clearly he's not here just to try to ruin Seth Rollins. My guess is he's going to say, I want to take your title. Hell in a Cell match next pay-per-view. But I think almost everyone's glad to see Demon Kane back, even if that means, even if he's still attack. Well, I don't know. He's clearly not authority if he's attacking Seth Rollins. So we'll see what Kane's agenda is tonight. My guess is to take the title. He'll have a match at Hell in a Cell. Next question, WWE.com Raw 5-point preview for September 21st. Is Ryback hungry for a rematch? Who cares? Of course he is. He'll say he wants it tonight. I don't know if Kevin Owens is going to accept tonight or if he's going to be kind of a douchey heel about it. But I hope that he just accepts tonight and that they just get it over with, because I want Ryback to be out of the picture ASAP. But based on Kevin Owens' character lately, I'm going to say he's going to not accept the match tonight. Point 3, how will Charlotte celebrate her Divas title victory? Oh God, with Ric Flair there, where are they going to be live tonight? I don't know. Hopefully it's not anywhere where it's going to be insane. Obviously Nikki's going to crash whatever party is there. And yeah, who knows what they do with Nikki next. I'm assuming she'll get a rematch. I don't know if she's planning any time off after what happened last time when AJ's huge title run ended. She took some time off, so maybe we'll see that for Nikki. Maybe we'll see Charlotte versus Paige versus Charlotte. Charlotte versus Charlotte, right? Charlotte versus Sasha. A lot of things could happen with the Divas title. Yeah, how will she celebrate? What a boring question. We'll just see how the feud develops, how important Nikki is going to be going forward. And apparently tonight, Legends with JBL, which looks like it's going to be a good show. Legends with JBL. It's a new network show, basically just JBL sitting down and interviewing legends from WWE. He's going to start, not necessarily, well, yeah, he's interviewing Eric Bischoff tonight, so that's the kind of legends that could be included. I know they showed him sitting with Ron Simmons. Can't remember who else. But that could be really good, especially if they let JBL be kind of go free with what he wants. I see Legacy over here. They're about to face DX at Hell in the Cell. Next question, point 4. Might tables be spared on Raw? Yeah, here's the thing. They're not going to bust more tables tonight. They're making it seem like tables is like a really big deal. So they're saving tables for the pay-per-views. I'm hoping they will just make a tables match at Hell in a Cell or a TLC or whatever, something in the Hell with those teams, in the Hell in a Cell with those teams. Something where there's no DQ, where the Dudleys get multiple opportunities to throw someone through a table, and plenty of shenanigans. And since Xavier Woods will obviously try to get involved, bring back Spike Dudley for one night to even the numbers. That's what is best for business. Because he's gonna be cheap and willing, you gotta believe. And point 5, question 5: will Cena's newly won U.S. title be on the line? So as I mentioned earlier, Cena had been doing the U.S. Open Challenge since winning at WrestleMania. Will begin tonight. Will Seth Rollins challenge for Cena? Will he invoke his rematch clause tonight? Will he be too worried about Sheamus to have his own rematch tonight? So many questions. But you gotta believe, unless the Authority stops him for some reason, John Cena will be defending the title tonight. Which is good because those were highly rated segments for Raw, so good for the business. And they were good matches most of the time anyway, so yeah. I'm all for that. That is the end of the 5-point preview. And really, I think that's all I had to talk about. I'm going to edit this out later. There's no one in Periscope, so I'm going to close that. Okay. Oh, there's something else I'm going to say. Okay, Brock Lesnar.
This match, of course, for the prestigious United States Championship, held by no fewer than a dozen WWE Hall of Famers over the years. The likes of Harley Race. And look at Kofi Kingston. Stayed on the same page.
All right, and real quick, before we sign off, I want to talk about the Brock Lesnar Go to Hell tour they announced last night, which me and my pay-per-view party all got very excited for. It's only a 3-date tour, so to speak, but it's pretty. They're all pretty exciting events, if we're being honest. The first one on the Go to Hell tour is Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show at Madison Square Garden. It's obviously not going to be a mind-blowing match, but hopefully it lasts a few minutes. We get a few impressive moves from Brock Lesnar. Obviously, they're just going to give us the F5. Whatever. It's going to be at Madison Square Garden, so it'll be fun to watch. The card will be good. We get to see Brock Lesnar in a main event worthy match, as far as just a otherwise not important card other than it's Madison Square Garden and airing on the network. So first stop, Go to Hell tour, The Big Show at Madison Square Garden. It'll be what it is. Stop number 2 on the Go to Hell tour is the Stone Cold podcast, which I think will be a really good episode. Stone Cold podcasts are usually good. His Edge and Christian interview is good. His Vince, his Triple H, all of Stone Cold's podcast interviews are good. They build them up well on WWE. So I think him and Brock Lesnar just sitting one-on-one will be good. Those should be a lot of good stories. And Lesnar seems like a kind of guy who his character isn't that much different than who he is as a real person. So it'll be interesting to hear him being interviewed about ending the Undertaker streak, about continuing to feud with the Undertaker, as that will be obviously a huge build-up to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which you can only assume will be headlined by the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, as they go at it again, this time in Hell in a Cell. So those are the 3 stops on the Brock Lesnar Go to Hell tour. That's how they announced that Taker Lesnar 3 would be at Hell in a Cell, the pay-per-view. They didn't announce anything else for the pay-per-view, but you gotta believe Seth Rollins versus Kane is a definite possibility there. And it'd be great to see any of the other titles defended in Hell in a Cell. I doubt they're ready yet to give the Divas something like that, but that would be interesting to see a Divas Hell in a Cell match, especially with the current roster of Divas. Kevin Owens defending the IC title, there would be good. The New Day defending against the Dudleys, maybe throwing a 3rd team in there would be good. John Cena versus a worthy opponent in there could be good for the US title. So really, I hope it's more. I hope it's 3 matches. I'm watching the first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view right now. We got actually a really young Jack Swagger and a young Miz. I mean, young-ish, feuding. They're both challenging for Kofi Kings's U.S. Championship in a triple threat match. But there were 3 Hell in a Cell matches on the first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I don't see why we can't do that this year. I mean, you call it the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. You could argue that every match should be in the Hell in a Cell if you're going to call the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. But at least give us, why not 3 matches? 3 matches at Hell in a Cell seems like a reasonable number of Hell in a Cell matches. You open with 1, put 1 in the middle, you close with 1. It just seems to make sense to me, but what do I know about anything? I've just been watching wrestling for a really long time. So that's really the last thing we have for the day. I'm going to play a few closing themes, whatever, here. Tomorrow, possibly joined by Hallmark of Swede. Hopefully joined by Kaz from Podcast 1. Hopefully it goes down a lot better than it did last week. As always, we will be here on Periscope to talk anything wrestling. I'm going to start playing the closing tune on the podcast. If anyone in the Periscope room wants to keep chatting, I'll be here, because that's the kind of life I live, guys. Again, this has been Marking Out in the Morning. You can follow us on iTunes. You can follow us on Stitcher. You can follow us on Blog Talk Radio. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Periscope if that's how you want to check us out. Tweet us at HEELZiggler_com. Check out HEELZiggler.com. I'm going to play the closing song now on the podcast. Thanks, guys. Hey, you guys can listen to that if you want for a second. If anyone in Periscope has anything else they want to say or talk about, let me know. I think the YouTube video is going to run out of time here any second now. So yeah, eating some grapes. The grapes are pretty good. They were frozen.